The Yellowstone River is a prized natural resource. It is a crucial fish and wildlife habitat. It provides the water supply along its 692-mile route. The river provides recreation, culture, and economic values. Lands bordering the river, known as riparian areas, are also valued for livestock and agricultural production. But did you know our river is in danger? Russian olive trees are invading, threatening the riparian areas and tributaries to the Yellowstone River, the longest undammed river in the lower 48 states. These hardy, fast-spreading trees and shrubs choke native vegetation, such as cottonwoods, willows, and fruit-bearing shrubs. Russian olives harm wildlife habitat, agriculture, and livestock areas. Native river ecosystems are being replaced by dense Russian olive thickets. While these trees are a source of food and shelter for some wildlife, their desirable traits are far outweighed by undesirable ones.
I fished the rivers in Montana my whole life. These Russian olive have got out of control. Now you try to gain access to the river through them. They tear up your gear, they cut you. It's time to do something about them.
The Yellowstone River Valley was full of wide open spaces in the late 1800s and early 1900s when Russian olive trees were first introduced. They were originally planted as an ornamental and later recommended for windbreaks and wildlife protection. Eventually, the large seeds carried by birds, animals, and water escaped into the wild. Russian olive trees first emerge with flexible twigs and 4 to 6 thorny stems. They grow 12 to 30 feet tall with rough, silvery to rusty bark. Silvery leaves are 2 to 3.5 inches long. Yellow flowers develop into furry olive-like seeds for which the tree is named. Russian olive trees are not yet listed on Montana's noxious weed list. They are considered an invasive plant species. Russian olive trees crowd out native vegetation, increase salinity of soil, destroy wildlife habitat, widen floodplains, restrict human and livestock land use due to dense thorny thickets, and invade irrigation canals, increasing the maintenance requirements for these structures.
The dangers with the Russian olive is its adaptability to different soil types and different water conditions. They take over all your native vegetation and leave room for your undesirables like Russian knapweed, Canadian thistle, and hound's tongue.
I think the biggest economic impact is the fact that it's a very aggressive plant. It takes over irrigation canals, pastures. It compromises the land for grazing. It changes ability to use it for recreation and aesthetics. And it just decreases the land value tremendously.
The Yellowstone River Conservation District Council is encouraging landowners to prevent the continued spread of Russian olive infestations. There are 2 basic methods to remove Russian olive trees. Herbicides are effective on trees with smooth bark. For larger trees with thick bark, removing the trees and spraying the stump is most effective. Cut low to the ground and apply a herbicide to prevent future growth. Slash piles can be burned and eventually the area can be revegetated with native species.
You should solve the problem early because removing Russian olives when they're small is much cheaper and easier.
Containment of Russian olives is an achievable goal with your help. The stakes are high.
We want people to understand the kinds of problems it creates and the size of the problem. When you first start seeing the Russian olives, you'll start seeing them everywhere.
You can help restore a healthy ecosystem by removing Russian olive trees. Specialized removal equipment may be available for rent in your area.
It's very important that we work at this problem together because no single person, no single agency can do it by themselves. If we cooperate and work on this problem up and down the river on all kinds of land ownership, we can get it under control.
To find out more, contact the Yellowstone River Conservation District Council at yellowstonerivercouncil.org.